What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. Before we get into pre-sales, I just want to once again advocate, if there's some kind of vote for a Starlight Rarity Collection, please put Wabaku on your list. This is absolutely ridiculous to see this LOB format card and also Gladiator B staple to have a Hidden Arsenal Chapter 1 version start to go for almost $10, and it's still a common DT. $8.50 lowest, with sales far above that and into the 9s, and sold out at the 6s to 7s. And the OG DT, which is the highest rarity, it is lowest here for near mint, $70, $69, not so nice. I can't believe these buyouts on this. It's absolutely ridiculous. And you know they're holding out on the holo when even Speed Duel didn't give it one and put it common in a tournament pack. Please screw over Kevin Tewart's want to not have this be holographic and vote for this next time you get a chance. That being said, let's go ahead and get to the modern cards with us having pre-sales up for Duelist Advance. Vanquished Soul is getting a huge power boost. Maybe the deck to beat. Let me know if you think that's the case in the comment section below. OCG certainly is on that deck in big numbers, and we do see a shocking price on its ultra rare at $45. I always put my audience first, and while you can use code What'sGood5 for 5% off and to support the channel directly at Gamer's Choice and Tier 0, I feel like this is way too high early for an ultra rare, even with the demand it should have for a deck to beat. IP Masquerena was a staple in Chaos Impact to take over the set in terms of value, and we all know that set was so thirsty for value, and it started out at $40 week 1 from pre-sales at $30. I feel like with an ultra rare being one of the most demanded cards in the set, it should probably start out more around $27, $28 to $32, not all the way towards $45, but that's just my opinion. Let me know if you think this deck is going to be so dominant that it deserves this price point. I do think it's a price that the card can end up in through the fall after we go out of the WCQ into off season, which has been shorter and shorter every year, and then we go into those fall YCSs that really ramp up. I do think we could see that price, and is why pre-sellers are throwing that dart at the dartboard there. We also have Tier 0, who does not have Starlights up yet because they don't really know if it's going to be the secrets and ultras or if they'll start to go down to the supers and pick other cards, or how Konami's going to specifically handle that. So they're only posting right now ultras and secrets and supers and that kind of thing, and not the Starlight rares. They have it a little bit cheaper, just under $42, but still there's international shipping with this, and if you live in Brazil or other areas, this may end up being a good deal for you versus waiting in customs and seeing how the prices go. We'll again have to wait and see. I think they also have the Art Mage slightly cheaper than Gamer's Choice, and spoilers, than the Lunalight Gold I think is a bit more expensive than they have it. The top secret here is the Sky Striker Ace Zero. I think that's kind of obvious for the set. A lot of Sky Striker buyouts happened. I don't think this comes to the forefront of the metagame or anything like that. It's more a return to playability, and we've seen a ton of money pump into the market on it, and I do think people will scramble for this card early, so it makes sense. I would have thought between 40 to 60, right dab in the middle at 50, makes sense to try to pre-sale this card. What was a really good deal in my opinion, Labyrinth on the art, good trap card generically, Trapaholic here, a Starlight rare at $40. If that is indeed a Starlight, that is a really great pickup for the people who got them early, and I do hope you use the code to make them even cheaper. Also, the Primite Dragon Nether, how do I say this? Berzulios? I'm gonna murder the name no matter what until I hear it said. This card, I think, is like a $3 ultra right now, and I wouldn't bet necessarily against that. That's probably one of the better pickups during the pre-sale range. Yes, they have the Academy at $40 right now. I think that's a bit high, but again, you have TCG exclusive, the Starlight cards here. Gold Leo at $25. I kind of thought this would be either a $20 or $30 card, maybe $18 to start and go up from there, but it is a secret rare, it is a Lunalight, so that automatically kind of puts it above $20. I don't think they're too far off on this. I think that it has a huge fan base, that it will be played. And again, it's not going to be the deck to beat, but it will be a deck to beat that will definitely be played within the metagame. You do have also the ultra rare Sky Striker here at 15. I think that it's, yeah, just slightly cheaper over on tier 0. So you see that back and forth where Gamer's Choice is going to be cheaper on some cards, tier 0 is going to be cheaper on other. Honest and great estimated value chop up pull attempts, but again, we're going into the off season, so I think there's some cards you can take your time and pick and choose while also shopping for deals through these pre-sales, and it looks like a lot of the deals might end up being in the Starlight range for this one. But let me know what you think. Am I underestimating Vanquished Soul and we'll see the return to like a $60 plus ultra rare, and that this is the value in the set that people are going to chase after? Because there have been exceptions to the rule, right, where things got extremely expensive, extremely fast, but in other cases it's like you see that ultra rare Dengirsu, right, where it dipped $25.20 and then went to $40. But there's also ban list and other stuff involved there. And again, just for so early, my inclination is that you'll see a point where this is 28-30 before it gets really this crazy. And that's experience speaking for me, but I can be completely wrong on that as well. So I do want to hear your feedback as the likely new deck to beat coming out from this set. Also, Mistaken Arrest, you might want to check your bulk piles. The maximum gold rare is now headed towards critical mass, for what you would call it. It is $5+, 6 quickly towards 8 here, and people are scrambling for this card, so it might be the card in the room that you really want to have access to at the WCQ. Speaking of Vanquished Soul and people pumping money into it, we see Jiao Long is going towards its highest point. It is up towards $20 and the graph is going crazy on that. Also, Stake Your Soul is going even crazier. The secret rare towards $40, the ultra rare above $50, and the collector rare, there were already so few quantities for people to buy out, and it's towards $80. At this point, if you're really after this card, I'd probably pay the extra for the collector rare, because the fallout on the other versions would be absolutely ridiculous on any reprint compared to that. Light and Darkness Dragonlord getting a little bit of play recently. It is back up through this month towards $5, a bit of a double up from where it fell. But if you recall, this saw a lot more play elsewhere and was even pricier than this at one point. Never bet against any kind of Dragon Link during the WCQ season. Usually one gets through at the NA WCQ. We talked about how people forgot about Jirax, and now we're seeing Ground Xeno bought out here for both versions, Ultra and Secret. Do remember that these 10s, they're so bloated that the reprint isn't really giving as many copies as years past into the ecosystem, so that these buyouts really push them up further and help keep them up, unfortunately, versus years past where vendors would have piles and piles to go into these buyouts and it would come down faster. So unfortunately, it's probably up in price for a good bit, if not going to continue that way, with dinosaurs being a fan favorite. We have Cyber Dragon Nova. We've talked about Cyber Dragon buyouts happening and how the results aren't as there versus the cards, but every Cyber Dragon Nova is money right now, so be aware of that. They are all pushing up. Commons, Ultra, Super, all of it is pushing upwards. Armory Arm did get a quarter century secret rare, but we're seeing an interesting trend with some of these cards that the OG actually ends up going up and having very few quantities for sale. I think I have to go, all the way towards the 5th page to see Near Mint Unlimiteds towards 15, first edition towards 18. So kind of pushing back versus that modern QCR being highest print. While it is a little bit ahead right now, it's not by much at around $20, and it'll be interesting to see long term how people go, OG versus Super Sparkly, that was the hype in X amount of years ago. and if things get other versions during 30ths, etc. We have Vanity's Fiend Ultimate Rare, the Rewave, going up. We talked about the stun deck and elements of it going up, and not Vanity's Fiend itself in terms of price. So be aware, even the Rewave ulti is getting bought out and pushed up at this point. Gladiator Beast, speaking of, Laquari's super rare, I believe that's highest rarity. There is a secret rare, but this is tournament pack super, is up towards $40 at this point. So going back up as it is playable through multiple past formats. And then Jar of Greed, of all things, has a super rare out of the Speed Duel tournament packs. I love the foiling of these, but this has gone back up towards $10 freaking dollars. We do have other versions pushing up as well, and every single version of this card has a market price of $2. I feel like I've seen that before and then blipped and forgot it. I felt like it was $1 something. Every single market price is about $2+ though, every single common. So again, when going through bulk, this is a card you want to be pulling out, and it has like so many different structure decks. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed these conversations, and let me know, are you going to be holding off from pre-sales, or are you shopping with Duelist Advance? I do feel like entering an off-season versus these pre-sales, nothing's above 60, so the estimated value chop up pool becomes a lot more interesting on certain ultra rares and starlight rares that could be underestimated should they be starlight still. And I do think that there is going to be that quicker pickup through the off season again. However, that's still, you know, a month or two time in terms of the market picking back up, and then also facing reprint season, which a lot of these should be immune from until what, they keep doing it earlier, like spring at this point. So we'll have to wait and see where things do go. But I do feel like for ultra rares, even if it's the deck to beat, that this is a bit much right now when fully generic ultra rares would end up at 40 week one. And this is not necessarily that, but it could have a lot of demand early.